Today we're going to be tying a seal bugger, classic Denny Ricards lake fly. In his fly tying capabilities, he's always been interested in tying flies that act like a bunch of different food organisms but don't necessarily look like one. This is a prime example. I've got a TMCO 5262, size 6. I've gone ahead and tied in some 025 lead, about 6 or 7 wraps on there. And the idea is not to sink this thing to the bottom, but to break the surface tension and to give you just a little bit of a head dive as you strip it through the water. So I'm going to take my black 6/0 uni thread, I'm going to advance it all the way to the back. I'm going to take a Marabou, black Marabou feather, and I'm going to use the tip and the long kind of nice flowing plumes that come off of it. Blood quills work really well for this. So I'm going to measure that tail to be approximately the same length as the hook shank. I've done just a pinch method there, stop it where I want to get it cut so I know that the length is correct. Next thing I'm going to do is tie in about 3 inches of red brassy sized ultra wire. Now in Denny's fly, he uses seal or seal substitute, which is great stuff if you have availability to it. I'm actually going to tie mine with STS Bloody Leech trilobal antron, and I'm going to stick it in a dubbing loop. I'm going to pull a fairly decent sized amount out, and I've got this Petitjean bobbin. Can't say enough good stuff about him. So I've made a dubbing loop. Trap it with my tool here, stick that clump of dubbing right up into there. I'm going to have to kind of cant my vise off here a little bit just to get the spin here on the loop. Sorry, not be able to follow the action there. So I've got a nice little dubbing loop group of that bloody seal, bloody trilobal. Just going to wrap that forward. This is going to give it a lot of motion. Also add like some color highlights too. You probably won't be able to see it from that distance on the camera, but on the close-up you'll be able to see. It's got a bunch of red in there mixed in with the black. Tie off my loop here. Next, I'm going to take a purple grizzly Marabou feather, or excuse me, Rooster Hackle feather. Just going to trim off the excess. We're not looking for huge amounts of leg on here. Get down on some meat here. Tie that in at the head. Now I'm going to make about 6 wraps back. Tie that off at the tail. Take my thread through. Excuse me, my wire. Trim off my tag end. Trim off my hackle feather. We'll go ahead and whip finish. Build up a little bit of a head here. Again, really suggestive pattern. It could be a leech, it could be a dragonfly, could be any number of aquatic lake organisms. So there you have it, a completed seal bugger. Very, very good searching pattern for lake fishing. One of my favorites. Hope it's one of yours too.